Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about TSM. More specifically, I wanted to talk a little bit about Spica, because we are now, I don't know, like a week and a half, 2 weeks away, away from the LCS season starting, the 2022 LCS season. And up to this point, Spica still does not have a contract extension in place with TSM. You know, according to the global contract database, TSM and Spica's contract is set to expire at the end of the 2022 season. And that is obviously a scary proposition for a lot of TSM fans right now, as TSM goes through this weird, kind of rebuilding phase where they're losing a lot of, their exciting faces, their talent, a lot of their players that fans love. Spica is one of the last hopes that TSM fans have to hang on to. He's a reigning MVP. He's great at content. He's super funny. He's young. He has a bright future ahead of him. But again, that contract extension is not in place, and that has some people worried. And in this video today, we're going to talk about, some recent stuff that's kind of come out regarding this situation, giving my thoughts and opinions on the whole thing, hopefully getting your guys' thoughts and opinions as well. So drop a like if you guys do enjoy this. I'd appreciate that a ton. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Consider checking out the new merch, first link in the description below. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So here is a video from Travis Gafford reviewing how bad my offseason predictions and reports were. If you guys remember back to the offseason, Travis Gafford put out all this amazing content. He did a great job. He killed it this offseason. I know some people were, kind of flaming him for one thing or another. And I kind of got caught up in some of that too. Not necessarily flaming him, but just saying like, hey, he probably knows a little bit more than he's saying, or, he's maybe playing into it a little bit. But he got people talking. He got a bunch of clicks. He got a bunch of views. He did a great job. He kept me entertained. He kept you guys entertained. He's truly one of my favorite esports content creators. I'm subscribed to him. I dropped a like on this video. I watched this whole video as soon as it came out. I thought it was great. But in this video, he talks a little bit about the Spica situation, which I thought was a little interesting, but also maybe there's a little bit of a misunderstanding and stuff going on. I don't know for sure, but let's just jump into what Travis Gafford has to say about here from TSM. So it's a little confusing, but big Travis on the screen is Travis from the past. Little Travis right next to my face right here, this is today Travis, and he talks about his old predictions that he made in like November, gives his thoughts and opinions on them, present day. I think it's a really cool video idea. It was entertaining, but let's see what he has to say about TSM and Spica specifically.
But the big prediction is, if Bjerg leaves TSM, Spica doesn't stay on TSM either. Okay, so I get this one.
So obviously, again, he got that wrong. Bjergsen did leave. Spica didn't leave. Now, obviously, maybe a little asterisk there because, hey, these were predictions for this offseason, and obviously Spica didn't leave. He's still with TSM. But again, he was already under contract, so it was a little bit hard for him to leave. It wasn't fully his decision. He could say he wanted to leave, but if TSM said no, then he was going to stay on TSM. And who knows, what kind of other offers or stuff was even possible. But it sounded like, hey, Spica is with TSM, so... But, hey, that doesn't mean he can't leave in 2023 when Bjergsen's gone. So, yes, Travis was wrong, at least in this offseason. But, hey, maybe this is something to still keep an eye on. And it's definitely something we're going to be covering the whole year. Whether or not Spica ever signs this extension with TSM.
One wrong. I got this one wrong. There's not too much I think I can say about this one other than that, like, there's definitely been some rumors that Spica is there because he's under contract.
Okay, hold up. We get an ad, so I'm going to let this ad play. So I thought that was really, really interesting. He says he's not sure how much he can say about it. And that makes everyone get pretty curious. Like, hey, what do you mean you're not sure how much you can say about this? Like what do you know? What is being said behind the scenes? Obviously, Travis is a very, very connected guy. Obviously, he has tons of sources, not only around the league, but inside of a lot of teams too. There's definitely people, I'm sure even anonymous sources that are fans of Travis Gafford, that like what he does, that, maybe he's helped out at some point along the way, that, give him some kinds of information. I don't know where he gets all the information. I'm sure, some of it comes from a ton of different sources. Again, he just knows a lot of people. He hears a lot of stuff. Some of it's true, some of it's false, some of it is true at the moment, then ends up being false. I don't know, but the way he's wording this is like, I'm not sure what I can say, but it's possible Spica, might not be happy with TSM. And obviously some of this is talking about back then, some of this is talking about what his thought process was in November. But I just thought that's kind of interesting, and that got me thinking a little bit.
I don't know if that's true. Maybe he loves being on TSM. None of that. Like, I haven't heard anything concrete enough that I could come out and be like, Spica's in contract hell. I don't think he is. I think he's happy to be playing with this lineup, but
And that's another really, really interesting part. He says he hasn't heard anything concrete enough. But that does mean he's heard something. And that's kind of where my mind got going. You know, I tweeted out about this. I was like, hey, Travis seems to be hinting about the fact that, hey, maybe Spica's not happy on TSM. And again, maybe that's not true today. Because again, he says, I'm not sure if it's true or false. He's not saying Spica is not happy on TSM. But it does seem like there is some kind of rumblings going on behind the scenes, whether it's from the most credible source in the world, or you know, whether it was just some really, really weak rumor, or maybe it was a situation that was kind of popping up, maybe it went away. But again, I tweeted out, hey, I think Travis is hinting about this. You know, it'll be interesting to see what the future has in store. I wonder how this is going to play out. I don't know how much I can say about this, but Travis, you know, reached out to me and was like, hey, I think there's kind of been a misunderstanding here. I'm not hinting that TSM or that Spica's not happy with TSM, you know, like he says in this video, you know, not really sure if it's true or false or whatever. But he's saying that, you know, just something that other people have said. You know, he told me, hey, like Double Lift said, hey, Spica, you know, this is the last year on your contract, then you're free, you know, stuff like that. How some people have been hinting, and maybe that is true. Maybe that's totally what he's talking about here. But, you know, I don't know, because in this, he's just being so mysterious, and clearly, I think he's heard something more. Again, I don't think he even says here, he's not going as far as to say that Spica's stuck in contract prison or whatever. And again, if Spica wanted to leave, he could make it vocally apparent. He, you know, his team, his agent could say, hey, he doesn't want to be here. I'm sure Spica is fine with playing on TSM for this season and seeing how this roster goes and all that. But on the other hand, there is a lot of evidence of why TSM or why Spica could potentially want to leave TSM. You know, we've already heard him talk about potentially wanting to go to the LPL. We know that he's a guy who wants to make the most of his prime. We know he's a guy who wants to win. We know he's a guy who wants to play at the highest level and achieve everything that there has to be in store. And, you know, right now TSM's talking about, hey, we're going to get back to old TSM. We're going to get back to winning championships. We're going to, you know, hopefully compete for world championships one day or whatever. And that's great to hear. So maybe, you know, Spica's like, all right, hey, I'll ride it out this year. I'll see. I hear you guys. I like what we're doing. I'll see how it goes. But, you know, if this season does go bad, which is possible. I think even the most optimistic TSM fan at this point has no idea what this roster is going to have in store for 2022. And if it goes bad, you know, it seems like there have at least been some rumblings that maybe Spica would possibly leave TSM, which again is really, really crazy. And maybe that means for another North American team. Maybe that means for the LPL. Who knows exactly? But I just thought this was kind of interesting.
I don't know. I don't feel too bad about this one, even though I'm not going to give myself a point for it. So that's how I did on the crazy prediction.
So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Travis did clarify with me that, hey, he's not hinting that Spica at this very moment is not happy with TSM, or that he's thinking about leaving the team in this offseason, or that he's not going to be signing an extension. Nothing like that. He's not going far as to say anything like that. But again, in this video, I think he is hinting at the fact that at some point in time, there have been some rumblings, maybe just from Double Lift, maybe some other content creators, you know, maybe it's all very, very public, you know, Twitter, Twitch stuff that we've all seen. But if that was it, then I don't think Travis would have to be careful. You know, he's saying, hey, I don't know what I can say here and whatnot. I don't think he'd have to be super careful if it's all stuff that's already public. You know, on one hand, I don't want to make too much out of this. I'm not saying, hey, Travis Gafford is saying Spica wants to leave TSM. No, not that at all. But I am saying that it is possible, and I think we all understand that it's possible that, hey, you know, Spica and TSM, this is a big year for them, and I've talked about that before. However this season goes is going to be big, and I know that there's an expectation of a lot of TSM fans and people around the LCS right now that, yeah, this very well could be Spica's last year with the team, and that can obviously have some crazy implications, you know, depending on how well or poorly he plays this season, depending on how well or poorly the team plays this season. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's really, really interesting. And I do think that, hey, there might be a little bit more to this story than we know, or a little bit more to the story than people are willing to say at this moment. But hey, keep an eye on this the rest of the season. Keep an eye on this into the 2023 offseason. And as stuff starts to develop into the next offseason, remember this video. Remember these clips. Remember that hey, there might be a little bit of writing on the wall. You know, I don't want to go tinfoil hat on it, but yeah, I don't know. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Do you think Spica and TSM are going to sign an extension during the season? You think they're going to get something done in the offseason? Do you expect Spica to be on TSM in 2023? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!